Today, I'll go over the exact way to set up a new Facebook ads campaign. And I will explain exactly what to optimize for, what budget to start at, how to set up targeting, and how to set up your first creative test. This is for anyone who hasn't ever really run Facebook ads, but also for anyone who's trying to understand the best way of setting up Facebook ad campaigns. Now, this is my framework, and it's based on 16 millions in sales and performance like this. Now, let's get straight into the ad account. So here we are in a brand new ad account. It says here showcase ad account. And here's where we will do the whole setup. So here we just have campaigns, ad sets, and ads. In campaigns, we usually run, well, the whole campaign that basically includes everything. In the ad sets, we run creative split tests. And on the ad level, we run those different ads. So we go on campaign and go on create. Here we just go for sales because we are optimizing for sales. In this window, we leave it as auction and also select sales. Even if you've never run any Facebook ads, no campaigns, you want to select your sales, not traffic or engagement or awareness, because if you set up something like traffic, it will optimize to show to people who are basically window shoppers who click on your ads, who check out your website but never purchase. And this is of course not the type of people we want to optimize for. We want to go directly for sales because then Facebook shows the ads immediately to people who go and purchase. So we go here on continue. Then here we want to choose the manual sales campaign, not the Advantage Plus campaign, because there we can't really set up multiple ad sets and then we can't run clear creative split tests. So here we just go for manual sales campaign, continue. And then we are in this campaign setup screen. So here we have the new sales campaign, the ad set, and the ad. We start going through this from the sales campaign. So here you just name the campaign. You can name it however you want. Then here, buying type auction, campaign objective sales. This is already what we set up. We leave it as that. One thing that you want to do here is actually set this to on Advantage campaign budget, because this allows you to set the budget at a campaign level, not an ad set level. And this basically takes you off a lot of work. And Facebook, when you have just multiple ad sets running, Facebook will allocate the budget to the most scalable and best performing ads, and you don't have to do that. So for that purpose, we set this. Now, what daily budget do we want to set here? So there's a way how you want to think about this. You don't want to basically gamble, let's say $500, and it has to work, and if not, you just lose everything. Just think of this budget like this. Whatever you spend here times 30, so for a whole month, you can afford to lose fully just to test. Of course, you'll most likely get returns already, depending on your ads that you're running, depending on your product, but just be ready to lose everything. Set this budget apart, think it's gone, right? And whatever you can afford here to lose, you set here for the first test. So for me, it would be $100. I recommend it usually to go for 100, not less than 50. Otherwise, you can't really test ads. But if you can afford it, allocate 3K per month on this test. Daily budget. Bid strategy, leave it as highest volume for now to receive data, and then you can continue to the ad set. Now the ad set, you can just name it. For example, here we say 001 because it's the first concept that we test. And then let's say gift angle if we want to test a gift angle, let's say for Christmas, let's say for Valentine's Day, or for whatever else. Now the conversion location, so basically where the traffic is led to. This should be the website, of course, if you run an e-com brand. The performance goal, maximize number of conversions, yes. Then here you select your pixel, and here you select the conversion event that your campaign should optimize for. That is again, of course, purchase. If you go for something like initiate checkout or add to cart, then Facebook will just find you a lot of people who visit websites and add to cart but don't purchase in the end. And this is of course not what we want to do. So you just go on purchase. Here you will have to set up conversion events. If you're using Shopify, what I highly recommend, you can just go into Shopify and then connect your pixel. Extremely easy. You can look up guides on that. It's like literally 3 clicks, and then you can set up conversions here, right? With standard events, and then you can connect the pixels, and then you can connect the pixel to your Shopify store, and it's set up. So here for dynamic creative, we just leave it as this because it will be gone soon, and we set up something custom here. Then the budget and schedule, the budget we have already set up. The schedule, we just leave it as it is as well. And then here we set actually the targeting and the audience. So first of all, let's say you want to sell in the United States. Then you just type United States. Okay. And then here we have it, United States. Now let's say you ship everywhere in the US but Hawaii. Then you can also go here on exclude and then type here Hawaii. And then you just exclude it like this. So right now it's just the US without Hawaii. Then we scroll further, and here you can see Advantage Plus audience that we want to turn off and switch to the original audience options. Use original audience. The reason for that is that if you turn this on, you can actually set an age range and like gender, for example. So if you know that your target audience is women in between like the age of 20 up to 40, you don't need to target men that are like 65 years old, right? You can leave it open if you want to, because Facebook won't show your ads to anyone. It will actually show to those people who engage with them the most. So if your ad is irrelevant for someone, then they just won't get to see it. But if you certainly know, okay, it's like a women fashion line and men won't buy it, then you can just go here, for example, on women and exclude men, so that Facebook doesn't even use budget to test selling it to men, because it doesn't work. Now for the age, you can again edit this, let's say women from the age of 20 to 45. But again, if you don't know exactly who will buy, or if you think even older people might buy, then just keep it open and Facebook will actually optimize for the best possible audience depending on your ads. Now, next up, the placements. This is actually what we leave as it is, because then Facebook will just show your ads on Instagram, on Facebook. It will test, okay, where does it convert better? And then it will just focus more on Instagram or on Facebook, proportionate to where it gets the best possible performance. And also the same thing with story placements, with Explore, page placements, and so on. It will just put them there where they convert the best. Now, once we have set up the ad set, we just go next to the ad level. Here, just name your ad. It can be like 001 version 2. Basically, we want to run 3 different versions, which are the same ad concept, the same ad idea. So here you can just put the ad name, let's say 001 version 1, because again, we want to test 3 different ad versions, which are essentially the same idea, but one variable is different. For example, the headline or the design. And then depending on where the spend goes, you see exactly which version resonates the most with your audience. So first of all, we make this version 1 under this ad set, and then we will make also the other versions. For the identity where you want to run the ads from, you just choose your business Facebook page. You also choose your Instagram account, of course, not your personal one like here, but actually from your business. Then you go here on create ad, manual upload, single image or video, because people just need to see a video or a single image to click. That's enough of an incentive. Of course, you can also later test carousel ads, but almost everything that we run are single image or video ads. And then here, ad creative, you set up the ad creative. You just go here on video ad or image ad. Let's go for an image ad right now. So this one you can basically skip. You can go here to media, and then you can upload your ad creatives and choose them. So if you want to upload them, you can just go here on upload. I've already some creatives here ready. So this is an example. Let's say we want to test this gift angle, and it says here the perfect gift for gamers. We choose this one here on crop. We just leave it as it is. If you have like a 9:16 version of this ad, you also can replace it so that in story format it fills out the whole screen. But for the first test, it's not that important. Then enhancements, I always recommend to turn everything off, because basically like turn this all on and then all off. The reason for that is that this is pretty much experimental from Facebook. They do some weird things sometimes, like basically adding here suddenly a headline, which is completely off, as you can see when it comes to the design, and this is not what we want to do. So yeah, we just turn all of this off. Then we go to done. And then here you can add primary text and headline. So the primary text, that's essentially the captions. Let's say we put here winning text, and here the headline, winning headline. You see already where it will be shown. So here's like the winning headline, the winning text here on Facebook. On Instagram, it will be in the story format here. Of course, if it's in the feed, it will be somewhere else. And then what we want to do is actually also add a text option and a headline option. So the reason for that is because we want to give Facebook multiple combinations of headline, primary text, and creative that it can combine and get a winner. Because this way we can not only run a split test between the different creative versions that we will do, but also of the primary text and the headline. So let's say we have a winning text and headline, then we add here testing text and testing headline. And what will now happen is that Facebook will test this ad creative that we uploaded with this headline and with this headline, and then with this ad text and with this ad text. And whatever performs better, it will keep showing that version. And that way we just increase the chances of success and can actually test new ad text and headlines against control and not just put something random basically. Also, one important thing, you don't just want to add as many headlines as possible, because now you might think, okay, so if I add like 10 headlines, it will have a lot of headlines to choose from, and it's very likely that one of them will perform. Yes, that's true, but the issue with that is that, well, if you have so many different combinations of texts, headlines, and ad creative to test, then you will just have to spend way more budget to test them, and it's not really worth it, because the main performance comes after all from the ad creative itself. So we keep this as 2 options here, 2 options here. Now for the call to action, if you sell a physical product, just go for shop now. If you run a newsletter, you can of course also use sign up or subscribe. But if you run an e-com brand with a physical product, just go and shop now. Then here destination, this is where we wanna lead people to, where we wanna lead the traffic to. So here you just put your website or your product page. Now I will put my website, etherads.com. You can also preview the website to check that it's leading to the right page. And then you just scroll down, down, down. And then let us just scroll down, down, down. Everything here is set. So we can hit publish. Now I won't hit publish because of course I don't want to run this, but you can hit publish. And then once it's published, we basically have the campaign set up with the budget, the ad set where we test our first angle, and then the first version of the angle under this ad set. Now what we want to do is create actually the other split testing versions as I mentioned before. So you go here on duplicate, you choose this ad and go on duplicate. Then you choose an existing campaign, existing ad set, the gift angle, right? And we choose 2 copies because we want to run overall 3 variations. We go on duplicate and now you can see we have 2 duplicates of the first ad. So this one, we name it version 2. This one, we name it version 3. Now from here, it's very simple. We don't want to change anything because we want like the headlines and the ad text to be the same, to have an actual proper split test and just split test the ad creative. So all we want to do is scroll down, find where you uploaded the ad creative, remove it, and then add the other split testing version. So in this case, we go again to media and then choose the other version. Here you can see another version, and this is what I mean by split testing version. For example, here we have a broader split test, like not a clean split test, because we have another headline and another design. Usually I recommend going for either another design. So for example, here we would have the same headline, so the perfect gift for gamers, but with this design, or we keep the same design, but here change just the headline. Now here we went for a broader split test. You can do that when you test for the first time to just see what kind of thing sticks and then iterate into that direction. But like usually just change only one variable, be it the ad text or the headline. Now for now, let's choose this as the second version. Again, crop, here you can change it if you have a 9:16 version. If not, it's also fine. Here, make sure that all optimizations are off and then go on done. Now the same thing for version 3, just swap out the creative. For example, here we could go for something like this, very organic, the same product, but just a plain image. Sometimes this can do also well when the audience really prefers very organic content. So this would be like the split test, complex design with headline, then just simple design with headline, and then just a pure image. And once you have set up everything, you will see that we have now the campaign, an ad set, and under that ad set, 3 split testing versions. And Facebook will spend now on the best version of this ad. What you also want to do is not just run one ad set, but actually add from the beginning 2 to 3 ad sets. Again, each ad set is one ad concept, one ad idea. For example, it might be this image, it might be a video ad with 3 different hooks, it might be a promo ad with 3 different offers, whatever you want to split test, but always split test something so that you can derive learnings and improve. Now let's take a look at an account where we actively do this. Here you see the broad campaign. Here you see the overall average performance over the last 7 days. And now let's go into this campaign and see what's going on. So you can see here we are running right now 4 ad sets over this week. Also, these ad sets have spent, but they are off now. And we have these ad sets running. Now, as I mentioned, what you want to do is launching 3 to 4 new ad sets per week and then just letting them roll for an entire week. And after that, make a judgment. Now, there are different scenarios that could happen. One of them is that the ad set takes the majority of ad spend and actually performs well. So here you can see performs really well. The ROAS target here is 3. And you can see here it takes most of the budget and performs well. So this is a winning ad. If that's the case, congrats, you can make iterations of this, and you should also, of course, keep launching new ads. Now, another possible scenario is that the ad set actually doesn't spend much, and either it gets like one purchase or not a purchase at all. In this case, you can just conclude that this ad set is either not scalable or not really competitive in comparison to the other ad sets, the other ad concepts that you've made. And that means you don't want to really keep this running and can just turn it off after 1 week of testing. Now, another possible scenario is that the ad set actually starts to spend, but then you see that the performance is actually quite low. So if that happens, if it takes actually spend, but then the performance is low, you also want to turn it off, and it's already off here. So after 1 week of testing, you want to look at the performance and only let it run if you see that it spends a decent amount, which means it is scalable and that it also converts well at your ROAS target or better. Now there's also one thing that you can do on an ad set level already while you are testing ads. Because if you go into here, then you can also see Facebook can spend on the 3 different versions that we have set up. Sometimes it will happen that, let's just for demonstration, let's put this to maximum, okay? So sometimes it will happen that it spends on one of the versions, like here. This was in the beginning. Here we have a clear winning version already, right? You can see this spent the most. But in the beginning, it spent on this version. Now we see it spent on this version, but it didn't get any purchases. Now if that happens, and if you see, for example, oh, this version spent less, but it already performs much better, and this one just spent more and nothing happens, then you want to turn it off so that the other versions have also a chance. And you can see after we did this, all the spend went to this version, and this version actually spent already over £3,000 in total since it's running, and it's running very profitably. So that's perfect, and then you can just let it run. Now when you see that like you have some ad sets overall, let's put it back to the last 7 days. Let's say you have over the last 7 days good performance, over the last 3 days too. Then the only question is, okay, how do you scale? If you want, for example, a ROAS of 3 and it is at a ROAS that's higher than 3, then you can just go on campaigns and go here to the budget and then increase that by 20%. So right now it's 132 times 1.2, that would be 158. Then you just go on edit and put here 158 pounds per day. Now if your ad campaign performs but not as well as you would like it to perform, so let's say the ROAS target would be like 4, but we're only at a 3, and you can actually reduce it so you don't go like below your minimum threshold that you first decided to spend, then you can just reduce it by 20%. So now we go the budget times 0.8 is 80% of what you are running it at. So you just put it to 105 pounds in this case. And this is literally how you adjust, like scale or downscale the budget. If you're spending at, for example, 100 pounds per day because you decided to spend that and you don't have any good performance here in your assets, you just want to turn them off after you tested them for 7 days and launch other ones until you have great performance. With this setup, it only depends on how well your ads actually perform. So while running this, what you want to focus on is creating high impact creatives that just convert people extremely cheaply and work extremely well for you. If you want to learn how to do this, you can just subscribe to my channel. I have a bunch of videos going over analyses and also explaining our framework of how we build those ad creatives and how we research them and how we make them for the brands that we work with. Now, another thing that is extremely important and that you want to focus on is not judging ads by single day performance. For example, let's go back to yesterday and look how everything performed. We can see the total ROAS is just 2 in this campaign, and here those ad sets just got 1 purchase. Let's go 1 day back again. Here you can see the performance, kind of terrible. This one at a 9 ROAS. Then let's go back 1 day further. Here we can see the performance 1.5. Okay, then let's go back to the 20th. Let's see the performance, and suddenly it's a ROAS of 10 on that day. And this is completely normal for Facebook. So it's consistently inconsistent. On some days you get all the conversions, on other days you just nurture the funnel until someone purchases. So really what you want to do is to look at bigger time frames. When you're testing creatives and deciding what to keep running and what to turn off on the last 7 days, and when you're deciding how to adjust the budget, just look at the last 3 days. And then when you see, okay, for the last 3 days it's below the target, just reduce the budget. And do that just as I explained, by reducing by 20%. And then on the next day, you can again check in for the last 3 days. And this is how you do it every single day. So now if you follow that, you are equipped to run Facebook ads very profitably. So now you are equipped with the media buying framework, and all it comes down to now is actually running high performing creatives. If you want to learn how to do that, I have a video here that explains our creative process that you can follow to craft your own high performing creatives. Keep scaling, see you there.